Colorado just confirmed a jump from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. Many things are significant about this move. Yes, the Pac-12 is scrambling, and this only adds to the instability within the college football landscape. But aside from that, there's something else that makes this different from any other move that we've seen. Much has been said online about a current Power 5 team never making the jump to an academically inferior conference. Moves have always been made up to more academically prestigious conferences like the Pac-12, the Big Ten, or the ACC. But with the events transpiring over the last several years, could we be entering an age where college football is separate from the academics altogether? With the introduction of NIL, college football is run more and more like a business and less like an amateur football league. We've now seen this in the move from Colorado, them being an AAU member and top research institution already in the club with the coastal elites out west, but now making the decision to go back to the lesser conference, at least academically. It's actually pretty unprecedented. So could this be a trend in college football down the line, where the rift between college football and academics continues to grow as the money just keeps flowing in? If so, it could mean drastic changes to the power dynamic within the sport. One of those changes being the return to power of the Ivy League. As most know, the first collegiate football game was considered to be played between Rutgers and Princeton all the way back in 1869. Princeton won 6-4, and from then on, the Ivy League schools dominated. In fact, from 1900 to 1925, schools from the Ivy League won 20 of the 25 national championships. The league had Heisman Trophy winners all the way up to 1951, not to mention a second place finish by Cornell's running back Ed Marinero in 1971. Yale's head coach Walter Camp is still considered the father of American football. And still to this day, we have the historic rivalry between Harvard and Yale, also known as the Game. However, as late as the mid-1950s, the Ivy League Conference was not yet established, and schools were able to compete with other universities across the country. And in 1954, certain teams in the league like Penn were interested in becoming big-time programs in the AP era of college football, scheduling teams like Army, Navy, Michigan over traditional matchups against other teams in the now Ivy League. This, combined with increased popularity and competitiveness in college football across the country, prompted the 1954 President's Agreement, which was put into place to de-emphasize the commercialization of athletics in the Ivy League and re-emphasize the amateur nature of the sport. It also instituted a round-robin scheduling system for the 8 teams in the league. Now, this agreement would ban athletic scholarships, forbid spring practices, limit sizes of coaching staffs, and disallow participation in bowl games and other postseason play. And although other teams had caught up to and even surpassed the Ivies in this point in time, this agreement no doubt put an end to the reign of Ivy League football. But it's been a long time since then. A lot of things have changed, and the Ivy League can't be held back forever. And even with the restraints put on these programs, the Ivy League has actually been getting better and better. In 2008, Princeton actually signed the #1 recruiting class in all of FCS. Princeton also beat out Alabama for a 4-star quarterback not too long ago. Now, this is all fine and well, but in my opinion, the first step in the Ivy League's return to national dominance is allowing postseason play. As of right now, all other sports other than football can compete in postseason. So why can't we allow football to play too? I know presidents have stated that the playoffs interfere with academics at that time of year, but that would be huge in establishing more of a presence in the college football world. Now, whether the schools actually want that is a completely different question, but we know the coaches definitely do. So changes could be coming at some point down the line. And while schools in the Northeast get some flack from your average die-hard college football fan about elitist mentalities, you really have to respect the players who, aside from the service academies, are one of the only true student athletes left in the sport. And while we're on that subject of player compensation, how scary would it be if these schools collectively decided to lift the restrictions and allow their athletic departments to compete with the big boys? They obviously have the wealthiest and most well-connected alumni base in the country. Again, how many of those alumni would actually care about football is a completely different story, but still the collectives and other NIL opportunities for these athletes would be enormous. Not to mention being able to offer some of the most prestigious and valuable diplomas in the world. I mean, there's a reason Stanford has a top 20 recruiting class for 2024, even after the poor play on the field for the past several years. Could the Ivy League take over the SEC as the best college football conference in the country? I mean, they already have more national championships to show for it. Now, do I actually think that the Ivy League is going to reclaim its dominance over football? Probably not. At least not anytime soon. But no doubt if these schools wanted to, they have the potential to totally disrupt the power dynamic in college football as we know it today. We're in pretty unprecedented times in college football as it is, and nothing can be ruled out completely. The Ivy League will always be a part of the foundation of college football and played a huge role in getting the sport to where it is today. I, for one, would love to see them back in the conversation. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.